Today on Commander Replay, Hallar the Firefletcher is back and ready to make it rain. Arrows of fire. Can Hallar hit the chest level bullseye on Ishkanah, Yidris, and Dakkon Blackblade? Find out next on Commander Replay. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Hallar the Firefletcher. Taking a look at our opening hand. Doesn't look that good, honestly. Let's mulligan that. Not a lot of colors. Got some late game stuff that we're a long ways away from. This looks a whole lot better. So let's keep that. So we're playing Hallar the Firefletcher, and we will be facing off against Ishkanah Graf Widow, Yidris Maelstrom Wielder, and Dakkon Blackblade. Ooh, one of my favorites. Ishkanah, by the way, is our buddy Andrew, longtime subscriber of the channel. Said he had time for a game, so here he is. We actually just played a game together, and it was miserable. A Selvala Explorer returned opponent went infinite, and it was miserable. I'm pretty sure I should just start playing only unfair decks, because running into an unfair deck like that is just the worst. Especially when you don't have, like, the tools to deal with it. If you're playing something that's a little bit more casual, it's super frustrating to play against infinite combo decks like that. Makes me want to rebuild my Shieldred deck and just make sure that players never have creatures in play again. Anyway, that brings it to our turn one. We draw a Primal Growth. We'll want to wait on that for a sec. Let's play the Spine Rock Knoll. Get to hide away some stuff. Grun the Lonely King sounds fun. Vines of Vastwood, also interesting. Let's get Grun the Lonely King. Nice little creature. And pass the turn like that. So Hallar the Firefletcher, by the way, is 1 red-green for a 3/3 with Trample. Whenever you cast a spell that was kicked, put a +1/+1 counter on Hallar, then it deals damage equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on it to each opponent. Ooh, that's a Blade of Selves coming down for the Ishkanah opponent. Swiftfoot Boots for the Yidris. Ooh, that's not good. That's going to speed up Yidris' clock a lot. Brings it back to our turn. So let's play a Forest, play a Strionic Resonator. Divining Top down for the Dakkon Blackblade, by the way. That should slow the game down significantly. Rites of Spring for Ishkanah. Discard any number of cards, search your library for that many basic lands, reveal those cards, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. Interesting. Frantic Search for the Yidris opponent. Signet for the Dakkon Blackblade opponent. And a Brainstorm. Seems redundant with the Divining Top. We are going last in this game, and I really hate going last. I mean, it's turn 3, and people haven't even played that much, and I just feel like we're behind. Gonna need a really big blasphemous act to kind of wipe away a lot of our opponent's stuff. There's a Scavenger Ground. Right here, let's play the Strip Mine, and then let's play the Tireless Tracker. And then we'll pass the turn. Frontier Siege for the Ishkanah opponent. Going with the mana mode on Frontier Siege. Frantic Search for the Dakkon Blackblade opponent. Busted card. Kinda wish they never printed it. Doing anything for free, always a problem. Even worse when you can actually net mana off of it. Precognition Field, what does this do? You may look at the top card of your library. You may cast the top card of your library if it's an instant or sorcery card. You pay 3 to exile the top card of your library. Interesting. Opponent seems to be playing a top of the library matters kind of deck with Dakkon Blackblade. Wonder if they're using that as the sub for the new commander that's not available yet on Magic Online. Brings it back to our turn. We draw a Treacherous Terrain. Deals damage equal to opponent to the number of lands that player controls. Dakkon Blackblade wants to play a lot of lands. We're going to try to hang on to that thing as long as we can. Right here, let's play the Scavenger Grounds. Get a Tireless Tracker Investigate trigger. Then play the Forgotten Ancient. Yidris is probably going to come down next turn. It's a little bit annoying. Let's swing into the Yidris opponent. Hit Yidris for 3. Frontier Siege trigger for Ishkanah. And gonna play a Parallel Lives, gonna put a counter on our Forgotten Ancient. 2 more mana in the second main phase. Gonna cast Ishkanah, gonna put another counter on Forgotten Ancient, which will make it so Yidris cannot attack profitably into us. And Andrew getting a bunch of spiders. What does that check? It checks, if it enters the battlefield, 4 more card types, create 3 1/2 spiders. Oh, yep, so 6 spiders off of the Parallel Lives. Pretty good. Oh, yep. Dryad Arbor, 2 card types. Soothsaying for the Dakkon Blackblade, so opponent definitely on a top of the library matters deck, which means Future Sight in there, and Future Sight is a super busted card. Though their mana's a bit awkward, so they won't be able to cast that for a moment. Maze of Ith, boo. Ugh, Maze of Ith. Well, that means we're going to be attacking Yidris then. Back to our turn. We have the choice to move some counters around. I'm just going to leave them where they are. Guess I'm going to put 1 counter on the Tireless Tracker. Give it a little bit more toughness. We draw into a Forest. Forest is good. That means our Cinderglade can come down untapped at some point. That sounds nice. Let's play the Forest. Get another Investigate trigger. Let's cast our Commander. Get a Forgotten Ancient trigger. We play a land already? Oh yeah, we played the Forest. Yep. Okay. Keep attacking into the Yidris opponent. We'll pass turn like that, and we'll crack a clue at some point. Opponent's going to crack their Blighted Woodland, go find some basic lands, put him into play tapped. Frontier Siege for Ishkanah. Getting some mana. Actually, the activated ability on Ishkanah will be pretty good with Hallar. Ooh, Blade of Selves on Ishkanah. That seems pretty good. We have anything to deal with that? We do not. We do have this Blasphemous Act. Doesn't work at instant speed, though, so they are going to get some spiders. Swinging, sending everything into the Yidris opponent. Going to get the Myriad ability, but those will get sacrificed to the Legend rule. But that's going to make a whole lot of spiders. So the tokens get sacrificed, but 4 Ishkanah triggers, and all of those tokens will be doubled. Seems pretty good. Yep, that's a lot of tokens. Blasphemous Act will cost the minimum. That's fun. If we could, oh man, I would love if we could draw into Heroic Intervention right here, but that's probably a lot to ask. Then we get the old one-sided board wipe, and one-sided board wipes usually win games. Aether Mage's Touch. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a creature card from among them onto the battlefield. It gains haste. At the beginning of your end step, return that creature to its owner's hand, then put the rest of the cards revealed this way in the bottom of your library in any order. Okay. Shows an Azor the Lawbringer, Narset Transcendent, and Sorin. Oh, opponent's bringing down Azor. We're not going to be able to cast that Blasphemous Act. That seems really bad. It's going to play a To the Slaughter on Dakkon Blackblade. Fun. We're going to draw off one of the clue tokens. We do draw into a creature, which is something we can cast. Use the Forgotten Ancient ability. Yidris Maelstrom Wielder going to come down. Forgotten Ancient's going to trigger. Going to put Boots on Yidris. No attacks from Yidris, just going to tap out and pass. Ooh, that's a Toxic Deluge X9. Oh, that's really helpful. I think Forgotten Ancient's still going to survive. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Opponent made a whoopsie. Forgotten Ancient's getting a little bit bigger. That helps us out a ton. Because now all we have to do is recast our commander, and then we can move all the counters from it. And life will be good. Target creature gains Undying. Ooh, Ishkanah's going to be coming back. Use the Forgotten Ancient's ability. Yes. Oop. And opponent does not get their Ishkanah back because they did not send it to the graveyard. That doesn't feel good. I've done that a bunch too. When your commander needs to change his zone and not go to the command zone, I usually do mess that up. But the good news is we do survive past the Spider Onslaught for a turn. Forgotten Ancient's going to get a trigger. Oh, we get to move things around, but nothing in play. There's an Overload. That'll be helpful. Play the Cinderglade. Definitely need to get our commander back in. I think that should be the first order of business. Since Ishkanah's set up pretty well, I think it's time to send in the Forgotten Ancient. Start chipping away their life total. Takes the hit for 9, goes down to 31. Ishkanah coming back to play, use the Forgotten Ancient. 6 more spider tokens coming into play. We can actually use the Overload on the Blade of Selves, which seems like it might be a pretty good idea. Swiftfoot Boot's also not the worst thing I've ever seen. Another counter on the Forgotten Ancient. Dakkon Blackblade come into play. Use Forgotten Ancient's ability. Forgotten Ancient, now big enough to survive a Blasphemous Act. Sensei's Divining Top coming back to play. So that's going to bring it back to our turn. I think we put a million counters on Hallar. Then Hallar is a 16/16 with Trample. Trample is relevant. Ooh, Garrick says we can draw a lot of cards, but I think we can just win the game right here. So shoot the Blade of Selves. Oh, Overload's gonna cost. Who do we swing into right here? Maze of Ith isn't going to help us very much. I think we swing into our buddy Andrew. Sorry, Andrew. Here comes 16. So what we're going to do, we're going to end step this Overload, and then main step the Primal Growth. Actually, no. I think we can just go Primal Growth right here. So Ishkanah down to 15, 16 commander damage. Yeah, I think we can actually just win the game. So cast this thing with Kicker. Use the Strionic Resonator to copy Hallar's ability. Opponent says wrecked. And that does it. Everyone dies to Hallar. Wow, nice. Turn 7 win. This deck is fun. It's better than you think. Yeah, Hallar the Firefletcher, it's really not bad. Forgotten Ancient was definitely the MVP that game. That thing got a million counters on it, and we just move them all over to Hallar, and then cast anything with Kicker and GG. Yeah, it's a fun little deck. Last time out, we were close to winning the game multiple times, and we got blown out by, like, Swords to Plowshares and that sort of stuff, instant speed removal. So a little bit weak to that kind of stuff, but still a fun little deck. Sort of almost like a Voltron combo kind of thing, where you're still kind of going all in on your commander, just that you don't necessarily need to do combat damage to get there. Just that Hallar does get pretty big, so you can do combat damage if you want to. Thanks to Andrew for playing the game with us. He was running the Ishkanah deck and had some pretty big game going with all the spider tokens at one point. Missed the Undying trigger, but based on the timing all that, they would have had a lot of tokens in play, but not necessarily able to kill us or anyone else yet. But yeah, I'm planning to do more stuff like this in the future where I actually get some people that have MTGO accounts and get them into games, and we'll jam some decks and have a good time. So stay tuned on that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.